What's up, everybody? Dreadnok Ryan here. Welcome back to the Honor Misfit Toy Collectors. It is the year 2024, the 60th anniversary of G.I. Joe, and we have seen a number of code word and date releases for the G.I. Joe classified line. So let's go ahead and start revealing those. Let's start out with what we already know. April will be a great month for classified fans, as we all have probably already pre-ordered many of these figures. So that's when we'll start to see, of course, Big Boa, Quick Kick, Techno Viper, Airborne, the 60th Soldier and Sailor, and then for the retro, Scarlet, Duke, and Rakondo, and then, of course, Metalhead. These, again, are tentative dates. It seems that we have these identified as hitting in April, but, you know, we see them delivered early just depending on where you ordered some of these items from. Of course, Mutt and Junkyard are in hand for most collectors, or folks are starting to able to pick those up as well. So let's move into Wave 2 and 3, and then we'll also discuss some possible vehicles as well. So Wave 2 should be hitting collectors' hands in August. We will see some figures hitting in September, one of which will be a vehicle, and then HB Buttercup, which I'm assuming to be some sort of fan channel item. We'll see for Wave 3 will hit in October. And with this listing, we don't see anything for November, December. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some, you know, one-offs or different things like that hit for those particular months. Possibly some of the store exclusive for Walmart and Target. But with code words, thanks to Chris McLeod over at the Full Force, we were able to identify some of those. So now you can get a better understanding of when to expect some of those name-only reveals to be released, so you can figure out which figure waves to hit. As we can see, Raptor has been identified as Frankenstein. The Cobra Ferret is Scooby and Vehicle. Naugahyde is Muttley Pet. Alpine is Elroy. The Iron Grenadier Bat is Judy. The Iron Grenadiers is Betty. Starduster is Daphne. Atlas Deluxe is Nemesis Enforcer. Cobra Commander is Retro Casey. Snow Serpent is Retro Tudor. Eels is Retro All-Star, and then, of course, Beachhead is Retro Brainy. Great nickname or code word for Beachhead. I like that. We did find out that the Action Marine and Action Pilot are Rough and Ready, and then, of course, the Night Creeper is Astro, and then Dreadnok Torch is Jane. There are two new listings for the retro cards, which is Osi and Azrael. And then, of course, we do see Pebbles, George, Yogi, Zorak, Boo Boo, Space Ghost. There are Whip Snakes, which is a 2-pack, Highway Pet, Bam Bam, Blossom with Vehicle, TNS Buttercup, MM Scrappy, and then, of course, Fred Deluxe. So this is kind of where we'll get into what I can speculate on some of these items. For the SMS Techno Viper, I know we did not see a date listing for that. I do know that the Vamp is scheduled to ship in May, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Techno Viper and SMS hit in one of those, let's just say, off-cycle months. So maybe I'm thinking either June or July for that particular item to start dropping into collectors' hands. Again, we haven't been able to pre-order that item, but I think that will be remedied very soon. As far as some of the other names that we see listed here, of course, we don't have identified code names for Leatherneck, Xandar, Jinx, or Doc, so I think they will fall somewhere in with these listings that we see. And then, of course, the ones that we don't have identified, maybe items that are for Walmart or possibly Target. So now that we want to talk about silly code words, and some of them are so easy, you just want to kick yourself once they are revealed and you go, oh, I should have known that. The one that I'm thinking of course, it's been rumored, but Road Pig is one of the figures that should be released in 2024. And I'm going to call that Highway Pet. I'm calling that Highway Pet because highways are roads, and Road Pig, and you can call a pig a pet, I guess. Either that, or he's going to come with some sort of giant hammer item. It may also be because he is just a bigger, chunkier boy. Lenny always said that he envisioned Road Pig to be a larger buck figure. So I think it just will be interesting to see what that particular figure will look like. I hope I'm correct. The more Dreadnoks, the better. But let's look at some of the other speculation of what we might see in 2024. We do know that we are going to get the Cobra Ferret with a driver, which makes me think that we should expect the Ferret to be treated just like the Cobra Trouble Bubble with the Techno Viper. And what that means is we'll probably be able to order the Ferret first. I would expect it to be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, as some of these vehicles seem to be exclusive to Pulse as we move forward. But then we should be able to pick up the Tiger Paw, which is just strictly a repaint of this item through Target. I'm hoping then that this means that these items should be around that same cost of what we've seen for some of the other Tiger Force vehicles at Target. Maybe not as expensive as the Trouble Bubble was for the general release, but somewhere in that like $45 to $50 price point. Next up, we did see, again, some vehicles that were possibly set up for release. And again, I know that we are expecting the Vamp in May. So does that mean that we might see a Dreadnok assault vehicle? Fingers crossed, of course. Or a Tiger Sting, maybe a Stinger, or even the Mark II. These are all easy repaints and reuse of the molds that are already out there. Just maybe some small changes to the weapons rack on the back. But let me know what you guys think. Which vehicle do you think we'll see first? Do you think we would get so deep as to get a Mark II, a Tiger Sting, or even the Dreadnok ground assault? Let me know what you think. I would prefer the Dreadnok ground assault if we can also get the Ram Cycle in Dreadnok colors as well. For Walmart, what I'm thinking we might see for these particular items, and this is thanks to 3D Joe's Carson over at 3D Joe's for keeping all of the information from the past of all the different figures that we had during the Real American Hero run. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a Night Force Shockwave, a Night Force Falcon, and then, of course, Outback. I don't think we'll see sneak peek or any of those other figures that are listed for these 2 packs. I think these are just the easy repaints that can be included in these. For the Cobra figures, I'm not sure what to expect for those, but I think for at least Joe, we'll probably see Outback, Shockwave, and then again some sort of Falcon. I hope with a new head sculpt, if not on a retro card Falcon. And then for the Tiger Force, Roadblock and Tripwire are the members that are still outstanding that we already have figures for. They don't have a Lifeline yet, but he could be one of those name-only reveals that we find out later this year. But I think we'll definitely see these 2 particular figures at some point in Tiger Force. For the Python Patrol, we pretty much have what was released originally during the Real American Hero line, but I know the G.I. Joe Collector Club did do a Major Blood, so maybe we might see an updated Major Blood. We did get a Vipra in Python Patrol colors, so I would assume that we'll see just a Cobra figure to fill out the Python Patrol that will kind of, just be one of those off-the-wall type of additions like we had with just some of the other figures that have hit for some of these sub-teams. And then here's my craziest. Thinking about Haslab, I know we've all kind of went through, like, could it be a Cobra Rattler? Could it be a Moray? But we know that we're getting Iron Grenadiers now, and you don't have troop builders without having mainline releases, and we have Metalhead. So why wouldn't we see a Demon as a Haslab? And that be the Iron Grenadier Haslab. Destro had a big part in the marketing for the Hiss. And then I could also see having Destro and the Destro Despoiler being a 2-pack like it was for Serpentor. Of course, that item does clip on top of the Demon. I'm just not sure if it's like an iconic enough vehicle. But I think just for one of those off-the-wall type of Haslabs, it would give Cobra a Haslab, Joe a Haslab, and then, of course, the Iron Grenadiers their own Haslab as well, too. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think that I'm just completely off base? Maybe I am. I think we would like to see maybe some other vehicles join through the Haslab, but I think looking at the Demon, you could fit multiple figures inside, which is what we saw for the Hiss. The weapons that can be added to it, some of the features that come along with it, the ability to have light up features. It just kind of makes sense to me. Plus, being able to tie it into another vehicle, which would be Destro and the Despoiler. I don't know. Just kind of makes sense to me to add all of those items together to make a nice Haslab type of offering. And since it would be a Haslab, you could do repaints of the pilots, maybe do another female pilot to go along with the Demon like they did for the Hiss tank as well. Emily did post this to Instagram, which kind of makes me think that we're going to be seeing some pre-orders coming up or some more name-only reveals very soon. She's been known to leave some of these hints. So as you can see, she was recently in the vault looking through different things when she spotted this electronic game from Tiger Electronics and just some of the call-outs, Star Brigade, always a winner in my book, which makes me think we might see something Star Brigade related at some point during the year. Emily doesn't post these things just willy-nilly. It usually is a hint to something to come. But what are your guys' thoughts? Are there any Star Brigade figures that you might want to see? Let me know in the comments. And then as we roll into the rest of the year, looking at the dates of when a lot of this stuff will start to drop, it is starting to make sense. They'll meet up with San Diego Comic-Con, Yojo June, of course, PulseCon, and then, of course, the 1027 event, which doesn't have a lot of pre-orders that we see because normally you have the London Toy Fair show right after that as well, too. But I think that opens up the door to, we know that we'll see some sort of PulseCon or Comic-Con exclusives out there. I think that Starduster has to be one of those items that's going to be one of the con exclusives. But I don't know if it will be Yojo June. I don't think it would be a Comic-Con because Starduster is kind of one of those. He's a popular Joe figure. Don't get me wrong. But if you're going to someplace like Comic-Con, you want it to kind of be a mainline type of figure that even the most casual fan will know. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think we could possibly see for some exclusives as we move through for some of these shows? And then again, I expect to see these either through Instagram or Facebook, where we'll get updates for name-only reveals as we move closer to mid-year for 2024, and then, of course, into 2025. And then finally, I want to send a big shout out to the folks over at Gridiron Studios. If you haven't seen it, Gridiron has been working with Fresh Monkey for the Monster Force. They've been doing a lot of the weapons designs for them. They announced that there will be a Gridiron Commando. This will be the first figure for Gridiron, with of course, working with Fresh Monkey Fiction. This particular figure will come in Wave 3. And then these will go up, I believe, for pre-order, if I read it correctly, shortly after Wave 1 starts to hit. But an awesome-looking figure. Congratulations to Mark, Quaid, and Colin, and Sandy for all the hard work that you guys have done. It's cool to see all of this out there. Great head sculpt for Mark, by the way. I think this will be a cool figure, troop builder that you can get. And, of course, since I collect Gridiron as a line, I will have to pick this up as well. If you do like the figure head sculpt, you can head over to Gridiron Studios now and get the gold limited edition head sculpt so that you can have it before these items will be available. So that is all I have for all of our G.I. Joe speculation and fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. 2024 looks to be a very busy year, and I don't believe this will be it. I think there will be some other items that will get revealed. And then crazy speculation for me, last part is maybe the San Diego Comic-Con item could possibly be the Thunder Machine. I'm just throwing it out there. What do you guys think? We're out of iconic figures really to do for Comic-Con. Why not make it a vehicle? Of course, they would need to make sure they have enough of it to order. But we did see with the Crimson Guard set as well as Chuckles that those items were up for pre-order a number of days after they were released. But I think with the Thunder Machine, that's kind of a crazier one. But let me know what you guys think. You don't want it as Comic-Con exclusive. I get that, just quite simply because you can't get a hold of it. But I think we might start seeing some of those where a figure vehicle item will be a nice combination for some of those events. Maybe Yojo June, or even PulseCon. But I hope you guys are having a great start to 2024. Thank you for all the support you guys have been showing us out here over at the Island Misfit Toy Collectors. We could not do it without you. We are actually quite far along than what I ever expected. We are over 900 subscribers. We're marching on our way to 1,000. So again, I just want to send a huge shout out to everybody who's supporting us. For the folks that have had me on their channels, a huge thank you to you guys as well. And then remember, for 2024, let's make sure we're looking out for our Joe bros and our Joe sisters. If you know of anybody who's struggling with different things, make sure you're just reaching out to them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you care about them. Tell them that you're there for them. I hope you guys are all having a great beginning to 2024. And for the folks in the Northeast and the United States, I hope you're not too buried with snow and these crazy cold temperatures that are starting to hit. But big shout out to a lot of folks who've helped support us. I also want to give a huge shout out to Zazel, formerly of the Slaughterhouse Championship Wrestling, who's now turned it to Zazel's Clubhouse. Go over there and check them out. He's doing some great work. And more importantly, yo, Joe.